Okay, Faith, can you hear me? Let me be sure if you can hear me. Okay, okay, all right. Thank you very much, Faith. So okay, I'm trying to check the YouTube channel as well. Okay, good evening, good morning, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever we are joining from. Okay, so this is day two of AI now with Incubator Hub. So I hope you guys are excited today to learn one or two things again as we as we continue our class um, today, as we continue our SQL data engineering class, right? I hope you are all excited. So please, if you can hear me, maybe from people on Facebook, on YouTube, if you can hear me, let's say AI now. Let's just type AI now on the chat. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, if you can see me, you can hear me. Just type AI now. I'm greeting everybody. Just type AI now if you can hear me. If you can see if you can see me, just type AI now. For people on YouTube, please let's type AI now just to be sure that people are following. Let's type AI now. AI now. I need to be sure people on YouTube can hear me. I'm not getting any response. Okay, AI now. Okay, okay, AI now. All right, all right. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. And also, let's inform our friends that the class have started. Let's inform our friends that the class have started. Okay, yeah, I can see responses from people on YouTube now. Yeah, thank you very much. It shows that you can hear me. Okay, so one thing that I would like to say before we start today's session is that please, at the end of today's section, I want us to be able to do something, right? So at least one thing that you learned today, I want you to share it on your social media platform and tag, Incubator Hub. Let people see that you are learning something, right? Just one thing that you learned today, just maybe take a screenshot, or you can just write about it and tag Incubator Hub at the end of the day. So I want to see people that will do that on their social media, either on LinkedIn, Twitter, whichever platform you are using. Please, let's try to, let's see the engagement on our social media platform to show people that we are actually learning something. I hope that is clear. Oh, that is fine as well. So I'm going to be presenting my screen now. Kindly let me know if you can see my screen. So we'll continue from where we stopped yesterday. We'll continue from where we stopped yesterday. All right, all right, all right. Okay, let me present my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. Screen. Share. Okay. Faith, please, can you see my screen? Let me be sure if you can see my screen. Faith, can you see my screen? Faith or anyone on those people on YouTube, can you see my screen? Okay, you can see my presentation slide. All right, okay. So once again, my name is Folorunsho Ajala, and I'm your tutor or facilitator for the SQL data engineering section for the AI Now Incubator Bootcamp that we're having. So I will just go directly to where we stopped yesterday. So yesterday we go through a lot of things. We talk about SQL, what is SQL, structured query language. We talk about the functions of SQL. We said that SQL is we use SQL for four major things. For what? For creating, for reading, for updating, for deleting record. Those are the things that we use SQL for. Then we talk about different syntax of SQL, like the insert, update, delete syntax. I showed you some of these syntax yesterday, and I also walk you through some of these syntax yesterday, and we see how this syntax can help you in creating, in updating, in deleting, and even in reading your your data in your database as well. We also talk about different commands as well. We talk about different commands in SQL. Sorry, for those on YouTube, please, can you see my screen? Can you see my slide? For those on YouTube, can you see my screen? Can you see my slide? For those on YouTube, if you can see my screen on YouTube, just type screen. Just type screen on YouTube. For those that can see my screen on YouTube, let me be sure that you guys are following as well. Just type screen. If you can see my screen, or just type PS. You can type PS if you can see my screen on YouTube. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you. So, just trying to go over what we did yesterday, right? So, we talk about SQL command, the data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, and transaction control language. We talk about what functions, what we use most of these functions or most of this command to do yesterday. We also talk about how the BMS, database management system, right? We talk about database management system. We talk about how different database management system like Oracle, Postgres, MariaDB, SQL Server, different RDBMS system. And I said that this system are just where you can write your SQL. It doesn't matter whichever how the BMS you are learning your SQL from. SQL is SQL across all the RDBMS. Even if you go on cloud like BigQuery, Snowflake, Databricks, Azure Synapse, SQL is still SQL there. Okay, someone said it is not clear. What is not clear? Please let me know what is not clear so that I can adjust, or if there's anything I can do from my hand. Please let me know what is not clear. So let me know what is not clear. So we also talk about different data types: integer, varchar, decimal, char, boolean, and every other thing. And I gave you an assignment yesterday to do more research on these data types. I don't know if some of you did research on the data types. So if you did your assignment on the data types, probably you can just type one or two things that you learn from your data type. You can just put it in the chat, or you can just give us what you learned from what is varchar, when do you use a varchar. You can type in maybe decimal or float. Let me know what you use float to do compared to decimal. If you learn about date, time, timestamp, let me know when to use those stuff. You can just type it on the chat, on the live chat. Just drop it on the live chat. I would like to see that. So if you learn anything about those data types that I mentioned yesterday, just drop the chat on the live chat. Also, yesterday we are able to create some queries, right? We are able to create some queries. Yesterday we talked about the insert, how to create a database, how to create a table. We did all this yesterday, right? So I'm just trying to go over what we did yesterday. Someone said she missed yesterday's class. She missed yesterday's class. I guess she's a lady. Yeah, you can watch the recording. You can watch the recording. So if you missed yesterday's class. So we're just trying to go over what we did yesterday. I'm just trying to go over what we did yesterday. All right. So today we are going to start with insert, like how to insert data, because I know quite a number of people will be wondering that, how am I going to be inserting record using the insert statement one after the other into the SQL, into our database? Am I going to be typing insert statement all the time, right? So not in all cases you have to. So not in all cases you will have to you will have to um, you will have to be writing insert. If you have your data maybe on an Excel sheet or maybe in a CSV file, and you want, maybe you have about a millions record, or you have about, thousands of data that in your table in your Excel, and you want to import that Excel file into your SQL database or SQL server, or any database that you are using. There are some syntax that you can use to aid you in that process, right? So today I will first start with the insert statement, how to use the bulk insert to bring in bulk data. So that is what we are going to start with today. So I will go to my SQL server before we dive into other things that we need to do today. So I will dive into the SQL server. So please let me know if you can see my screen. So if you can see my SQL server, just type SQL server. If you can see my SQL server, my studio, the studio that we are going to be using to work, just type SQL server to be sure that you guys are seeing what you know, just to be sure we're on the same page. If you can see SQL server, if you can see my screen and you can see SQL server, just type SQL server. Okay, SQL server. Okay, it means you guys can see my SQL server. Okay. Please let's type it. Let's type it. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think I can see people typing SQL server already. So now, yesterday we created this database, the Incubator. So let's assume that I have this data. I have this data. I hope I still have the data here. Okay. 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 Let me bring in the data. So let's say projects. Okay. Um, okay. So let's say I have this data. I will, let me bring it here. Okay. So let's open this data. So I have this data here. I have this data. So I want to ingest this data, and I don't want to, yesterday, what we did yesterday was to use the insert statement to be inputting the record one after the other. That is what we did yesterday, right? So we are using the insert statement to bring in the record one after the other. So, and I don't want to be using the insert statement to bring in the record. So what I'm going to do is that we can make use of the bulk insert statement. We can use the bulk insert to achieve this. So what I'm going to do is that the first thing you need to do, yesterday I told you when you created your database, the first thing is to identify the database you create. So I'm going to say use the incubator. That's the first thing, to identify the database you create. Then you execute. You can see I've executed it. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to create a table. So I will say create table sales. That's the name of the table I want to create, right? That's the name of the table, sales. Now I want to bring in all this record, because I don't want to be typing it. I don't want to be typing inserts every time, like insert this row. I want to bring in this data at once. So what I will do is that you need to first create the table. You need to first create the table. So I'm going to say, I will paste this here. Then I'm going to say this is what order ID is an integer. Order ID is an integer. Order ID is an integer. Region ID is also an integer. Region ID is also an integer. Product ID is also an integer as well. Then segment is varchar. Segment is varchar, let's say 50. Then unit sold. Unit sold is Unit sold is integer. Unit sold is integer. Now, other date supposed to be a date, right? Other date supposed to be a date. But one thing about SQL Server is that the format of your date, right? This date is not properly formatted according to the way SQL is going to read it. So the first thing we need to do is, so if you okay, or maybe I'm going to show you. If you try to put a date here as the data type, when you try to ingest the data, it's going to throw an error. But let me show you so that you see what I'm talking about. So let's see. So what I'm going to do now is that I need to create this table. I will create the table. So I've created this table now, right? Then I will just select. I will just select all from sales, the table I just created. Now you will see that there is nothing inside the table. You just have the structure. You know, I told you about the structure yesterday. Structure is just when you are creating your columns, right? That's the structure. You just created the structure. Now, the next thing we need to do is what? Is to ingest the data using the what? Using the bulk insert. We want to use the bulk insert. So let me just copy this code. I'm going to explain the code to us. So what we want to do here, using the bulk insert, is to what? So using the bulk insert is to what? We say bulk insert into sales. The sales table that we created, this table that we just created the structure. Bulk insert into sales. From where is the data coming from? The data is coming from my local laptop, my laptop, right? So what I'm going to do is that I will close this file because this file must be closed. You can't open the file when you want to ingest it. So I'll close this file. Save, don't save. Then I will go to the location of the file. This is the file. I will right click. I'm going to right click. Then I'll go to properties. So can you see? This is the location. Can you see the location? I'll copy the location here. I'll copy the location. Then I'll go back here and just place this one as your location. This is my location. So C users Folex, right? That's the location. Then I'm going to do back forward. Then the name of the file. What was the name of the file? So the name of the file is what? If we go to properties, the name of the file is what? Okay, I think there's a mistake. So this is the location. This is the location. I think I made a mistake. This is the location. So let me correct this. Downloads. Then the name of the file. What's the name of the file that we want to ingest? Sales. You copy the name of the file, sales. Then you come back here and put the file here. Then you say .csv. The file format is a CSV file. Then we say with few terminator, because CSV is what? CSV is what? Is a comma separated value. So we are saying with few terminator comma because a CSV file is always a comma, right? So that is why we put comma here. Row terminator means the next line, right? So the way CSV file is structured is not the way Excel file is structured actually. I hope we all know the difference between CSV file structure and Excel structure. So CSV is always a comma separated, right? So if you want to indicate the next line, so you use this sign to indicate the next line. You can say new line character. So new line, the comma, then the new line. Then first row. Our data, is it starting from the first row or the second row? It's starting from the second row because the first row is the header and we already created the headers already. We already created it already. So that's why we are starting from what? From the second row, right? That's why the first row is what? Is 2. So then we are going to close this. Then let's try to execute. So let's execute. If I execute this, we are going to get an error. So let's execute. Oh, I think it went to. I wasn't expecting this to go actually because of the date format actually. I don't know, sometimes SQL Server can be so funny. It might show error sometimes. Maybe in case you are doing your own and it throw an error, right? If it throw an error in your case, just change the other date here to varchar. Then when you get to your SQL Server, you can come and convert the date over again, right? So we'll go over this one later on. So let's select all. Now, can you see? Using the bulk insert, we are able to ingest all the data. We don't need to manually be inserting the record manually. Okay, just to be sure that we are following, I hope we can see the table that I just, or the record that I just ingest now. So if you can see the record, right? If you can see the record that I just ingest using the bulk insert, can you type record for those on YouTube? Can you type record for those on YouTube? Just type record so that to be sure that you guys can see my screen. Just type record. Can you type record to be sure that you see what I just did now? Just type record. Let's type record. Let me get our response. Let's type record. Okay. Faith can see record. Okay, let me see people on YouTube as well. Okay, record. Okay, fine. It's good. So yeah, it's good. Perfect. It shows that we are following. All right. Okay. So now that is how you can insert record using what? Using the bulk insert. So you don't have to be using the manual method that we used yesterday. Yesterday we said insert into table, and we started putting the record one after the other. So you can just use the bulk insert in case when you have a very large number of data, so you don't have to be doing it manually like this. So that was the first thing I say I should quickly show you guys, because as beginners you might find it so frustrating, writing inserts into when you are doing it manually. You might find it so annoying and so frustrating. So that's why I say I should quickly just show you this method today. So, but our main topic for today, what we'll be looking at today, I will go back to my slide. And let me know if you can see my slide, my presentation. So let me know if you can see it. If you can see my slide, just type slide. So if you can see my slide, type slide. Let's type slide. All right. Okay, Faith can see slide. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so today we'll be looking at, the first thing we'll be looking at today is to talk about the understanding the SQL order of execution. Yeah, thank you for those on YouTube slide. All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Also, Faith, please, I just need to get maybe a confirmation, because I think the number of people that are supposed to join this data engineering class were supposed to be more than the audience we have. I don't know, maybe they follow up, emails, so that we can, for people that missed the timing and all. So if there can be a follow up email that the class have started as well. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so understanding the SQL order of execution, right? Now we need to understand, because fundamental is very, very important. What did I say? Fundamental is very, very important. We shouldn't just start writing queries, start writing SQL queries like that. We need to understand the fundamental, and that is why I'm always keen, especially for beginners. So, especially for beginners, to understand how SQL is being executed, right? So you need to understand how SQL is being executed from the back end, because if you have a better understanding of this execution, it's really going to help you, when you want to write a query, when you have a problem, it's going to even help you when you want to troubleshoot. Now, now I want to show us how to write an efficient queries in SQL. On a norms, right? Everybody think select is the first statement in every SQL queries. But I'm going to tell you that select is not the first whenever you are executing your queries. What I mean by select is not the first is that when it comes to execution at the back end, right? Select is not the first thing that happens. So how does the execution happen? The execution happen from the from statement. What did I say? From statement. That is the first execution. If you have join in your query, join is the second in order, followed by where statement. Where statement is where you filter, where you put your condition. We are going to talk about where statement, condition, logical operator, later on today as well. We'll talk about it. After the where statement, we have the group by. The group by. The group by is always accompanied by aggregations when you are doing aggregations, right? So the order of execution is the from statement, join, if you have multiple tables, then followed by the where statement, followed by group by statement, followed by having statement. The having statement look like, it also work like the where statement because you use them for filtering as well. But you only use the having statement when you have aggregations. Maybe you want to look for values like maybe revenue. Maybe you want to find, okay, maybe when a revenue is greater than a certain amount of amount, maybe quantity greater than a certain amount. So you might not be able to use the where statement in that regard. So what you are going to use is the having statement. Then the select that we normally see as the first is now the what? The sixth. You can see that select is not the first here, is the sixth in execution. Then followed by what? Order by. Order by is what? Is when you are sorting, when you are sorting either in ascending order or whether you are sorting in what? In descending order. Then you have your limit. Limit is also known as top. Maybe you want to find top 5, top 10, top 3, top 1. So you use your limit. So you can see how SQL is being what? Is being executed. It doesn't start from the select statement. It doesn't start from where? From the select statement. It starts from where? From, join, where, group by, having, select, order by, limit. Now, I can tell you for good, not sugarcoating anything here now. If you understand this execution very well, you are not even a beginner anymore because this is what you actually need. And in most cases, when you are running your query, this is what you need to know. Once you understand this, you can run your queries like this, the way the execution follow like this. I'm telling you that you have a less problem. You have a less troubleshooting. When you are even troubleshooting as well. Now, it is not in all queries you will use all this execution. Sometimes you might not have to use having, but whenever having is required, you must put it after the group by statement. It shouldn't come after the group by statement. Hello? Anytime, because you will be wondering that, is it all queries we are going to be using all this execution? Not in all queries. Sometimes you might not even have to use the where statement. Sometimes you might not even have to use the order by statement. Sometimes you might not even need to use the limit statement, right? So, but if everything is going to be used, it has to follow this order. That is just it. It has to follow this order. So, just to know that you guys are following, I want you guys to type the execution according to how I listed it here. So I want you guys to list it for me. So just list the execution, the order of execution, just list it the way I said it so that I will say people that are following, from the from statement, the join statement, the where statement. I want you guys to list it according to the way I said it. So that is how execution SQL is being executed. Now, what are the importance of this execution? Why are we even learning this order of execution? What is the importance of it? Number one, for optimizing your query. It helps you in query optimization. You understand? It helps you in query optimization. It helps you in troubleshooting and debugging. Whenever you have an issue, you can easily identify where your issue is. You can easily debug. It helps you in all those troubleshooting. It enhances your SQL expertise. It shows that you actually understand the fundamental. You have a good solid foundation, and that is what I'm trying to pass across to you, trying to put you through that. This fundamental is very, very important. If you understand this fundamental, going forward, anything that you're going to be learning forward is just to build on this, right? It's just to build on it. So enhanced SQL expertise, that is the next thing. Then it helps you to write advanced queries. Once you understand this, you can easily write what? Advanced queries. You can easily what? Write advanced query. Okay, yeah. So please, I want to. I can't see you guys response on YouTube. So just type the. I want to know that you guys understand the execution order. So please let's keep it coming. Let me see your comment to be sure that you guys are following, right? The order of execution. Just type it the way I put it. Just type it. Let me see it coming. I can see Adewale, yeah. So Adewale, you are right. Let me see other people to put in their own to be sure that you guys are following. So understanding the importance of order of execution is very, very important. Like I said, it helps you to troubleshoot. It enhances your SQL expertise. Writing advanced queries, it actually helps. Optimizing your query performance as well. It's actually helpful in that. Now, when we talk about all these things, we are not in a theory. We are not just going to be talking about all these things. We have to practice it and see how we want to see it in action as well, right? We want to see it in action. So we are going to. I'm going to, copy this question. So let's see. Let's answer this question. We're going to see how SQL order of execution is. Okay, so I have a database here already, Maven Market. That's the database that we're going to be using. So in this database, so let me quickly run us through so that you guys will understand. We have different tables in the database. We have the sales table, calendar table, customer table, product table, region table, store table, right? So all these tables are related. We say that database is what? Is a collection of related information, right? That is what a database is. So that is why you will say that in this database we have multiple tables, multiple records. But these records are what? They are related to one another. They are related to one another, right? So I'm going to, show you some of the, or to preview the data for you. So let's open a new query. So let's quickly do a preview of the data. So let's say select all sales. So can we see? So the sales data contains what? It contains transaction, stock date, product ID, customer ID, store ID, quantity. This is what the sales data contain. This is what the sales data contain, right? This is what the sales data contain. Now we have the customer data. Select all from dev.customer. So let's check the customer data. So you can see we have this customer record, the customer information. This is what the customer information contains, right? Now let's look at the products. So let's look at the products. Now this is what the product table looks like. Product ID, brand name, product name, product SKU, product retail price, weight. It's talk about product information. Now we talked about this thing yesterday that a database contains related information, right? It contains related information. So now we are going to be using this information here. We are going to be using this information here to answer some questions. Now, what I want you to focus on is the order of execution. I mentioned something around order of execution, how. So we talk about order of execution, how SQL is being executed. So I want to show you how to execute, how to run your query in that manner, because this foundational knowledge is very, very important and is very, very key, right? It's very, very important and it is very, very key. So now I'm going to paste the question. So let's see. Let's read the question together. Let's read the question together and let's answer the question as well. So what I'm going to do, I will comment this out. I will comment it. Yeah. So now let's read this question together. Let's read the question together. So the question says, how can you retrieve the top 5 store in terms of total revenue from transaction? How can you retrieve the top 5 store in terms of total revenue from transaction, including the store name, store city, and total revenue? Only for store in Mexico. There's a condition there. Only for what? Stores in Mexico. Excluding those with total revenue. Okay, group by store, and order by what? Revenue in descending order. Excluding those with total revenue greater than what? $5,000, right? So you can see the question. This is a requirement. It's most likely that maybe your manager or your executive or maybe your team lead just says, Mohammed, right? He said, Mohammed, can you please, give me the top 5 store? How many store do we have? Let's even check. How many store do we have? Let's check the number of store we have. Select all from dev.store. Let's check the number of store do we have. How many store do we have? So let's check the record. We have 24 store. Can you say 24? 24 rows. That means that we have 24 store. We have 24 store in this data. So now your manager wants to see which store give us the highest revenue. Probably they want to compensate the store manager, or just want to see how they are doing, right? They want to see how they are doing in their business. So now let's look at how we can execute this query using the SQL order of execution that I mentioned earlier. So let's see the format. That format we want to put it here as well. So let's start. So just to be sure we can all see my screen and we are together. What I don't know. So I need to say something that to be sure that you guys can see my screen. Okay, I think Faith said she can see my screen. For those on YouTube, can you just type yes if you can see my screen? Can you see the question? Let's just type question 1. Let's type question 1 to be sure you can see my screen and we are together. Just type question 1 if you can see. For people on YouTube, let's type question 1. For people on YouTube, let's type question 1. Let's solve question 1 first. If you can see my screen, type question 1. For those on YouTube, I've not gotten any response yet. So let's type question 1 to be sure we are together. Let's type question 1. No response yet. Okay. I'm getting response now. Question 1, Stella. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. It shows that we are following. Now let's answer this question. How can you retrieve? So when you want to answer questions like this, you need to be careful, right? You need to be careful. When you want to answer it, you need to be careful. How can you retrieve the top 5 store in terms of total revenue from transaction, including the store name, store city, total revenue, only for store in Mexico, group by store, and order by revenue in descending order? Now, in this question, there is something you need to first understand. We have 2 tables involved. We have how many tables involved? 2 tables involved. Is it 2 tables? No, 3 tables. We have 3 tables involved in these queries. You need to understand that we have 3 tables involved. Now, the first table is what? Is the store table. The store table. The second table is what? Is the product table. Why? Because our price is in this table. The price we want to use is in this table. Product retail price is here. And we are also using this table as well, the sales table, because it contains our quantity. And what we want to look for is what? Is revenue. So for us to be able to get revenue, we need to multiply quantity by what? By price to get our revenue. So we are using 3 tables. We are using what? 3 tables. We are using the sales table, product table, and the stock table. That's the first thing you need to first understand. Where, from which table is, are you picking information from? From which table are you picking information from? That's the first thing. From, I told you that in terms of execution, from is the first thing you need to first identify. Now, what are the information required from us? That's the next thing you need to identify. The information required from us is what? Store name, store city, and what? Total revenue. Just 3 information. That is the only thing that is required. Nothing else. The information required is what? Store name, store city, and what? Total revenue. That is the only information required from you. Right? Now, they now said what? Only for store in Mexico. This is where you use what? Your filter. This is where you use your what? Your filter. Then they say we should group by what? Store, and order by what? Revenue in descending order, excluding those with total revenue greater than 5,000. That is also a condition we need to put in place as well. So let's see how we can write this query. So I'm going to say select. Now, I told you guys select is not the first statement in your query. But when we are typing it, it is the first. But when it comes to execution, it is not the first. I'm going to explain. We are going to understand it very well later on. So let's chill, right? So select. What are we selecting? Store name. We are selecting what? Store name, comma. The next thing is what? Store city. Store city. Store city, comma. The next thing we are selecting is what? Total revenue. Now, total revenue is not an information given to us. We don't know total revenue. We want to calculate it ourselves. They didn't give us total revenue before. We want to calculate it ourselves. So we are going to say sum. Don't worry. Hopefully tomorrow, in tomorrow class, I'm going to teach you how to do some calculations, aggregations, and all. I'm going to teach you. So don't worry if I'm not breaking it down in this class today. So tomorrow I will show you how to do that. So I'm going to do sum product retail price, multiply by quantity. So this is going to give us what? Total revenue. This is going to give us total revenue. This is going to give us total revenue. Then I'm going to say from dev dot what? You can choose any of the 3 tables that you want to start with. But let's start from the sales table. I'm going to say dev dot all sales. Then I'm going to alias this as A. Okay, let me just say as A so that you guys will understand as beginner. I'll say as A. Everything here, I'm renaming them as what? As A. Everything that is here, I'm renaming it as A. Then I will say join what? So let's join it with product. We'll join it with what? Product. We'll say dev.product as P. Then I will say on a dot product ID equals to p dot product ID. Don't worry, guys. You guys might be wondering that what am I doing here? But when we get to hopefully tomorrow class as well, I will explain. I'm going to teach you about join tomorrow as well. So I will explain join to you. So if you don't understand it today, let's just leave it because that's not our focus today. So I will explain that tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Someone said I should alias the. Okay. Well, whether I alias the sum or not, because I put a space here, it has seen that, but don't worry because you guys are beginner anyway. So let me alias it as well. It's fine, but let me alias it so that you will not get confused. So now I'm going to say join the third table. The third table is what dev dot store, which is as. But let me show you guys something. Whether I alias it or not, right? So far you put a space and you put what you want to alias it as. You can see this one now. I'm not going to put any alias. I'm not going to put as here. But I just want to know that for advanced, right? You don't. Most people when you are in the advanced, you are writing your advanced query. A lot of people doesn't put as just to show you, right? But we'll see how this is going to play out as well. Then we'll say on what s dot store id equals to a dot store id dot store id, right? So now what is this? So we need to go back to the question to understand the requirement. The requirement said we want to retrieve the top 5 store in terms of total revenue. Then they said only for store in Mexico. Then we say what? Where what? Where so we need to check something before we execute this. So let's check something. So we have okay, so where Mexico is the store country. So we are going to say where store country equals to what? Equals to Mexico. Then we say what? Group by what? They say we should group by so anytime you are dealing with aggregation, so any value that any variable or variables or values that is not aggregated, you have to put them in your group by statement. So we say store name and store city. You have to group it by this. Then what they say again? They said group by store and order by revenue in descending order, excluding those with total revenue greater than 5,000. Excluding. So I'm going to say having total revenue greater than 5,000. 5,000. Then we are going to say order by total revenue. In descending order. Don't forget, they say we should find what? Top 5. So we're going to say top 5 here. I'm going to say top 5 here, right? Now, let's try to execute this query. Let's see what is going to happen. Please, let's pay attention. You know, I told you earlier that order of execution does not start from where? It doesn't start from the select. Please, let's pay attention. If you are distracted, if anybody is distracting you, please, let's pay attention here. Now, I told you earlier that select is not the first. Because you are writing it first does not mean that this is what is going to execute first. It doesn't. It starts from the from statement, join, where, group by, having, order by, then followed by limit. In SQL Server, we don't use limits. What we use in SQL Server is what? Top, right? What we use in SQL Server is what? Is top. Is what? Is top. All right. Okay, now let's try to execute this query now. Let's try to execute it. Now, we have executed this query and we are seeing, it shows us an error. I don't know if anybody can tell us. Maybe if you understand what the error, what causes this error. It's saying that what? Invalid column name, total revenue. Invalid column name, total revenue. Does anybody know why we are getting this error? Maybe from people that have experience before. Let's see some. I know some people are genius here actually. So let's just see. Let's see. Let's see the genius in us. Let's see the people that are genius here. So if you know what the cause, we can just type it if you know what caused the error. Now, I won't waste much of our time here. The reason why we are getting this error. Okay, someone said put after DEC. Okay, that is not the causes of the error. Actually, that's not the causes of the error. Now, let me explain. You can keep on coming. Let me keep on seeing your the reason why we have an error actually. So if you have any reason, you can just drop it. It's fine. Now, the reason why this error is here is because number one, having is, you see this having statement that we have here. This having is telling us that it does not recognize total revenue. Hello? The having statement is saying that it doesn't recognize total revenue. Meanwhile, order by statement said what? It recognized, because if you look at it here, from even before executing it, you can see that the total revenue is being underlined here. This underline means error. It means it doesn't exist. It does not exist. That is what it means. Now, if you look at it closely, you will see that having said that, it doesn't recognize this column. Why? Because, so what we are going to do here is to put this value here, the way it is here. We have to put it here exactly. So let's put it here. Now, order by, total revenue, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change it. The order by, total revenue, I'm not going to change it. Let's execute it now and see. Let's try to execute it. Can you see? We have an answer. Now, what is the problem before? The problem before is that order by can see, because at this moment, I told you earlier that select is after having. What did I say? Select is what? Is after having, is not before having. As at this moment, having have not recognized that total revenue exists. It doesn't recognize that this line exists. But for order by recognize that it exists because the select statement has been executed before the order by. I don't know whether you guys understand what I'm trying to explain here. What I'm saying is that if you go back to our slide, let me go back to that slide to show you. If you look at this slide, you will see that select is after having, meaning that because you write select first does not mean that it's the first to execute. It does not do anything. Select does not do anything in the beginning of the line. It's just a placeholder, or it's just a figurehead. It's just like saying that you're just telling someone to represent you at a place. Select is not doing anything in the first line, and that is why it does not recognize it when we use it with the having statement. But when we use total revenue with order by, it recognizes it because total revenue has been created as at this time. I hope you guys understand. So, but if you don't understand, just try to go over it. We'll do one more example before I go. So you can say now we have what? Top 5 store. Store 12, store 8, store 2. You can see the total revenue as well, right? You can see the total revenue as well. So if you have any question regarding this, you can just type in if you have any question, or if anything you do not understand anything, you can just put it down there. You can just put it down there. Someone said it should be less than 5,000. Is this supposed to be less than 5,000? I'm assuming those with total revenue. Okay, yeah. Greater than 5,000. Okay, I think you are right. Yes. Less than. Yes, you are right. Execute. Okay. So if you use total revenue greater than 5,000, less than greater than 5,000, then we don't have any store. We won't have any record. I think maybe the value is too large. So let's just reduce the value to like 2,000. Let's see. Let's reduce the value to like 2,000. Let's reduce the value to like 2,000. Let's see whether we have any record. We still don't have any record. So let's just change this. Let's change this one to less than 2,000 rather, instead of greater than. So let's just change it to less than. So now we can have that. This is when you have a figure, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that observation, Adewale, on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you for the observation. Yeah. So this is how you execute your query. So now let's do one more example. Let's do one more example. Let me copy this question. Should we do one more example? Because time is, we have a lot. We still have some other things to do. Okay, let's see. Let's do one more example. Let's quickly look at this example. Then I'm going to give you a class assessment. I will just give you like 5 minutes for that class assessment to see people that are following. So let's look at this question 2. So if you can see question 2, just type question 2. If you are following, let's type question 2. For those on YouTube, let's type question 2. Let's answer question 2 now. So just type question 2 if you are following. If you are following, type question 2. Let's type question 2 to be sure that you guys can hear me. Let's type question 2. Faith, my co-presenter, are you there? Let me be sure that you guys can hear me. Just type question 2. Okay. I can get response on YouTube. Question 2. All right. Okay. So now let's answer this question as well. So let's say we should find the most profitable store in the US. I think the first one is in Mexico, right? I think the first one is in Mexico. So most profitable store in the US. Now we want to focus on US now, right? How can you identify the most profitable store in the US, including your store name, city, just like what we did, total profit. So this time around, we are looking at profit, right? Calculate profit as the difference between product retail price and product cost multiplied by the total quantity sold. Group the results by store, order by total profit in descending order. So because of time, I will not. I won't want to type it one after the other because of time, because we still have some other things to cover. So I will just copy the solution here, then I will explain to us. I'll just copy the solution and I will explain. Or let me just copy. Probably I should just explain it one after the other for people that are beginner. So let me explain it one after the other. Okay, so let me explain one after the other. So what we are doing here is what? We want to find the most profitable store in US, right? So we are doing what? We are selecting the store name, store city, just like we did earlier. We multiply your product retail price by quantity. You get your revenue, right? This is going to give you your revenue. Then you multiply your product cost by quantity. This is going to give you your your total cost. And they say we should find what? Profit. And profit is what? Revenue minus total cost. So the next line, what we did is what? We said some product retail price multiplied by quantity minus product cost multiplied by quantity as well. Then we get what? Our total profit. So this line give us profit. This line give us profit, right? Then we said from which table are we picking it from? Your store table, because store city, store name are coming from the store table. Then we say join what? So we join what? Our sales table. You can see we join the sales table as well, right? So let us go through the process anyway, because what we are trying to achieve here is to see how SQL is being executed, the order of execution. You can see. And I told you that from is the first, followed by join, followed by group by, followed by halving statement, followed by order by. Now, here you will say that we did not use total profit here. We didn't use total profit. We have to put in the values exactly the way it is here. Because, like I told you, SQL does not, the halving statement is not yet executed until, sorry, the select statement is not yet executed until halving statement has been executed. I hope you understand that. The halving statement does not execute until, sorry, the select statement does not execute until halving statement has been what? Has been executed. So that is, how SQL is being executed here. You can see halving. So that's why we have to put in this value exactly the way it is here, right? Then we say order by what? Total profit. Then in descending order, right? Then let's execute this. So can you see? So now these are the most profitable store. You can see we have what? Store name. The most profitable one is the store 13 because it has the highest total profit. Can you see? It has what? The highest total profit. Okay. So so that is that about SQL order execution. If you have any question, you can just type in your question if you have any question. If you have any question, you can just type your question. Okay. So now I have an assessment for you. So let me give you. I just want you to see. I want you guys to answer this question. So if you can answer this question, just give me how the SQL. You don't need to have the table. Just tell me the arrangement, how you will arrange it. So this is. So we just want to, just for us to be on the same. So I want to. So this is the class exercise. If you can just give me the query, I will appreciate. So just give me how this query, how you are going to write the query, if you are supposed to write the query. So this is the class exercise. I will give us 5 minutes. So I will give us 5 minutes. So our 5 minutes will start now. So by 8:12, we are going to. So you can start dropping your answers. So this is the class exercise. Okay, let me show you. So this is the class exercise. So let's quickly do this class exercise. So what you are going to do is just tell me how the query is going to be executed. Just tell me how the query is going to be executed. The arrangement. Just tell me how the query is going to be executed. So I'll give us 5 minutes to do that. So your 5 minutes have started already. By 8:12, we are going to kickstart. So let me see your answers. Let's start dropping our answers for those that are following. So for those that are following, please let's drop our answers. And if you have question as well, if you have question, you can drop your question. If you have question, can we get the Excel table data you are working with for the examples? Okay, so for the Excel data that I use, you can actually use your own data. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be my own data, right? You can create a sample data yourself, right? You can use any CSV file. Just make sure that the data is a CSV file. Just make sure that the data is a CSV file. So you can practice with your own data. It doesn't have to be my own data, unless but I can also share the data with I can share the data with us. Maybe if you can access it on the LMS system, you can download it there, and yeah, I can share the data with us as well. But if you have your own data, you can make use of it. So let me get response from us. This exercise should not take you more than 5 minutes actually. So we have 3 more minutes to go. Nobody have I can't see any response yet. No response yet. Please let's do the exercise. Let's do the exercise. Let's do the exercise. Okay. They say I should give more time. Okay, let's see. Maybe by 8:15. Okay, by 8:15. We'll start by 8:15. Okay, someone said top three select from where. Okay, group by. Okay. Interesting. I like this person, Vivan. Yeah, at least you are able to select product name SKU, some quantity, where recyclable equals to yes, group by product name, okay, SKU, having some quantity greater than, okay, well done, Vivan. I like that response. At least you make an attempt. I love your response. So I need more response from people. Yeah, Busola Ajayi. You give it a try, but I will have prefer you give more context to what you are typing. Yeah, yeah. Well done, Vivan. Yeah, I like that your response. Well done. So let's keep it let's keep the exercise coming. So let's see more response from people. Yeah, let's see more response. So we have 4 minutes left. 4 minutes more. We have 4 minutes more. So I want to see more response. So please, let's get more response. More response, please. More response. So because when you start working with organization, these are the questions. These are queries that you will be giving to write some queries, get some results out, and you need to understand how execution happens. And also something happens is that sometimes you might write a query, you might get a result. The fact you get a result does not mean that your query is correct. So you need to also verify your answers. Do you understand? You need to verify your answer very well. Okay, I'm getting some response already. Select from. Okay, well done. I wish I can just call you guys on this live chat directly. I wish I can score you guys directly. I will just be giving you guys score already. Yeah. So just let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Well done. We have 3 minutes more. 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. So by 8:15 we'll start. We'll start. Join the product with the other item table on the product ID. Okay. Nelson. Well done. Okay, okay, okay. That's fine. More response, guys. More response. More response. We have 2 minutes. So 2 minutes left. We have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. We have 2 minutes left. So let's keep it coming. Okay. I hope if you have questions, you can also drop your questions. If you have questions, you can also drop your question. If you have question, you can also drop your question. If it's not clear, if the other execution is not clear, right? Maybe some part is not, you do not understand it. You can also drop a question. You can drop questions. We have 1 minute left. Only I'm supposed to score these people, yeah? Just few people. And for me, I think it's only Vivan that, that really make, a strong effort actually. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Kehinde Ezekiel. Yeah. Yeah. I like your response as well. Yeah. Yeah. I like your response as well. Your schema by product name. Okay. You give more context to what you type. Yeah. Yeah. That's how to write SQL queries. Yeah. Yeah. It's recyclable. Okay. 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 Well done, guys. Well done. Let's keep it coming. Let it coming. As a beginner, I'm struggling to understand the course. Yeah, don't worry as a beginner because just be patient with yourself, right? It's always like that. It's always like that. Just be patient with yourself. Go over the videos again. You know, you might need to have more resources, to read as well. So Lizzie, don't worry. I understand your struggle, and it can it can be like that for beginner. So, but just take it. Be patient with yourself. Yeah. Okay. So it's 8:15 already. So we will stop the exercise. You guys have done well. Ezekiel, Vivan. You guys have drop a nice answers, and there's no wrong answer. There's no right answer at the moment. You guys give it. You give it. Yeah. A shot, and I really appreciate that. So let's continue our class. Let's continue our class. So we talk about the order of execution, right? So now we want to talk about logical operators. So we talk about filtering. How do you filter in SQL? So we want to talk about filtering in SQL and some logical operator. So these documents provide a comprehensive guide to basic SQL filtering and logical operator, covering the where clause, the logical operator, the special filtering techniques. This is going to equip you with knowledge of effective filtering data in your SQL. So just like the way you have filter in Excel, for some of us that are very conversant with Excel, in Excel you can easily do filter, filter by, by anything. You can filter by values. You can filter by, by text. You can even filter by, by, by alphabetically, descending order. In anyhow that we want to filter, we can filter in any angle. So now we want to start looking at filtering. How do you filter in SQL, right? Because whenever you're writing SQL, you don't want to be running your entire database. It's going to take a longer time for you to be running your entire database. It's going to take you a longer time. So you just use your where statement to easily filter your table, right? You easily use your filter to easily filter your table. So we'll be looking at some of these um, examples, around the filter clauses and all. So the where clause now, the where clause is a fundamental part of SQL queries. It enables you to filter record based on specific condition. It acts as a filter, allowing only rows that meet the specified criteria to be included in the result set, right? So the where statement is what we use as what filter in your query. right? Whenever you want to filter, you mostly use your where statement. We also have the having statement, but most often filter happens within the where statement. What did I say? Filter happens within what? Within the where statement. So just to be sure that we are together, so let's type where for those on YouTube. So let me be sure that we are together. Let's type where on the comment section. Let's type where on the comment section to be sure that we are together. Let's type where on the comment section. After you take your attendance, don't leave the call. Oh. Let's type where on the comment section. Let's type where to be sure that we are together. Let's type where to know where we are. So to be sure that we are together. Okay, okay. I can see the comments coming. All right. Okay, so let's type where. Let's type where. All right. Okay. Now, the where clause, like I said, is a fundamental part of your SQL queries. We use it to, filter record, right? We use it to what? To filter the record, right? Now, let's go to our SQL. So, for example, now, let me open a new query. So, let's say I have, let's do select all from dev.all sales. Now, if you look at this record, we have about, how many records do we have? We have about 259,000 records. You can see the number of records that we have here. You can see the number of records that we have. About 260 records, 260,000 records that we have. Now, this record, you might actually not need the entire record. Maybe your boss just say, oh, Vivan, right? So let's say your boss say, okay, Vivan, can you give me the total record or total transaction for a particular customer? Let's say customer 50. You just want to know, okay, what is the total transaction? What is the number of record that this particular customer have? So instead of running through the entire database, you can just make use of your what? Your filter statement. Just say select all from there.all sales where what? Where customer ID equals to what? Equals to 50. Right? Equals to 50. Can you see? Now, you can say that how many records do we have for customer ID 50? Just 16 record. And this is just it. You make use of your where statement to what? To reduce the number of records you are going to get. I hope you guys understand that. So the where statement is to reduce, is like a filter. It's like a filter. You are going to use it to filter your record. So we use the where statement to filter. Now, within the where statement, we have some logical operators within the where statement. What did I say? Within the where statement, we have some logical operators. We have the and operators, the or operators, the not operators. We have between, in statement, the like statement, the case statement. We have the non-leave, the colons. We have a lot of operators that falls within what? Within the where statement. You see all these statements that I listed here, they're functioning what? Within the where clause. They are functioning within what? Within the where clause. So that is why, I want to put us through all these logical operators so that, when you start writing queries, when you start doing some transformation, when you start writing your, when your boss says you should do something, you will know when to use these logical operators. And these logical operators, they are not actually new. If you are very familiar with Excel, they are also in Excel. They are what? They are in Excel. So they are very, very, you are not, these are not new. They are not new operators at all as well. So now let's start with the and operators. So let's start with the and operators. So the and operators says what? You just want to, maybe for example now, you want to So let's use this as an example. Select all from customer. You want to select all your customer. Then you want to say, okay, where birth date is equal to this particular date. Then you also want to choose a particular name of a customer as well. So let's see the example in SQL. So let's say select all from customer. So let's say select all from dev.customer. Now you can see that we have over 10,000 customer. We have over 10,000 customer base. Now maybe your boss or your manager is interested in a particular customer and he wants you to give him information about a particular customer. Maybe you say, okay, Charles, can you give me customer, maybe some customer name, the customer name, and the customer must be in what in he give you conditions, right? He give you conditions, and the condition is that the customer must be based in Mexico, and also the customer must be married. Let's say that he give you condition that, oh, the customer must based in Mexico, the customer must be married, and the customer must be must be over, let's say the customer must be over, over what? The customer must also have children that is more than 4. So he gave you 3 conditions. So let's list the condition, and all the conditions must be met. Condition. The condition are what? Conditions. The condition is what? Country must be what? Must be equals to Mexico. Comma. Marital status must be married. The customer must be married. Marital status of the customer must be what? Must be married. And the customer must have children. Children must be above 5 years. It must have children that is above 5. Like the customer must have more than 4 children. More than 4. That is greater than 4 rather. So it must have children that is above 4, right? So that is the condition. Now, to give this condition in your queries, how do you put that? So you said, so let's say select, okay, we can say select all from dev.customer, right? So we say where what? Where customer country equals to what? Equals to Mexico. Where customer country equal to Mexico. Then, because the condition is more than this, we're going to say and what? And marital status equals to what? Equals to married. Then another condition is what? It must have children that is what? Greater than 4, right? And again, another condition which is and what? Total children greater than 4, isn't it? So now let's try to execute this query now. Let's execute it. Can you see? From 10,000 plus record, we now have how many records? Just 62 records. You can see, we just have how many records? Just 62 records. From over 10,000 records, we just have 62 records. So you can see, just 62 records. Now, let's move on. So the other one that we have is what? So that is AND statement, the AND operator for you. Is a condition. All the conditions must be met. All the 3 conditions must be met. So you can say and all the three conditions. The customer must be in Mexico, the marital status must be married, the children must be what? Above 5. So if you check it as well, you can see total children. All the children are what? They are above 5. You can see. And you can see that they are all married. You can see married. Now, if you want to add another condition that the gender must be, let's say, must be male, you can also add another condition and say, and gender equals to what? Equals to male. So let's execute this. You see that the number of records that we have again will reduce. Can you see? From 62 now, we have 26 records. So filter helps you to reduce your it helps you to reduce what? It helps you to reduce the number of the number in your record. It filters the data, and when you are filtering, it actually is faster. It makes your database or your query to run faster compared to when you are running your entire database. So basically, because the data we have here is not much. If you are working with big data, like 500 million data, close to 10 million, 20 million, 500 million data, you cannot be writing SQL without filter. It's not possible, because it will take you a longer time for your result to come out. So you have to optimize your queries, right, with the right with the right clauses and statements. So let's move on. So let's go to the all statement. Is opposite, is like, is a condition as well, but the condition means that either it is present, or either A is present or B is present, either one of them. So all is like either. Do you understand? It's like either. It doesn't give you, it's not a must. So let's see an example of that. So let's see an example. So for example, now I have, so let's say this, we'll use this same customer. So we want to say, okay, let's say member card. So the member card must be silver, and occupation must can be manual, right? So we want to say select all from dev.customer where what? Where member card equals to silver, or see, this time around we are not using and. This time around we are using what? All. All means what? Either this first condition is met, or the other condition is met, right? Or occupation equals to what? Equals to manual. Or occupation equals to manual. Let's execute this. So if you look at it, we have more record here. Can you see? We have a lot of record because the condition here is either. So if you look at it, we have member card, silver, bronze. Now, why do we have bronze here? Because the condition says what? It's either member card is silver or it is manual, or occupation is what? Is manual. So here we have some manual occupation. So far that it is an either condition. The condition is not saying that it must be what? It must be silver. If we change this one to, like, okay, let's say, and occupation is equal to manual, right? You will see that the response is going to change here now. Now we have how many records? 184 here. If you look at it here now, everything is what? Silver and manual. But if you change it to all, the result is going to be different. The result is going to be different when you use all statement. So you need to be sure of what your condition is all about, right? I hope you understand that. So let's quickly move on because we have our time. We still have some other conditions to look at. So we have the not operator as well. The not operator is just like when you are saying something is not inclusive, right? When something is not included, when you are saying that not in. So let's just look at an example of it here. So so for example, now we have this customer country. So we want to exclude. I think we have just 3 countries here: USA, Mexico, and Canada. Yeah, I think, and Canada. Canada. So we want to exclude information that is from USA. We want to exclude it. So we're going to say select all from dev.customer where customer country not. So when you want to use the not, right? Where customer country, I think you have to use this sign. This sign, not equals to not equals to USA. Not equals to USA. I'm sorry. Not equals to USA. So you can see now. If you look at the customer country now, you will not see USA here because we have excluded USA from our query. Now, when you want to, so now we have 2 options to write this. We have the not in and this symbol, this sign. So this sign means what? We are excluding USA inside. We are excluding USA. That is what this sign means. This symbol, what it means is that we are excluding it. You can say that customer country, you will not see USA here. USA does not exist here, right? But let's assume that you want to put into condition, right? You want to exclude USA and let's say Canada or Mexico. Let's say we want to exclude USA and Mexico. If you want to do that, you are going to change this one to not in. You're going to say what? Not in. Then you open a bracket. Then you say Mexico. Then you close it. Not in Mexico. So let's execute this. Now, customer country. Okay. The name is not well spelled. Mexico. So now you can see we only have what? Canada left. Can you see? It's only Canada that we have left. So we have excluded what? USA and Mexico. If it's just one country or one values or variable you want to include, so that is when you are going to use the that symbol that I used earlier. If you use that symbol here, it will not work. It's going to throw an error here, right? So you need to pay attention to when to use a certain symbol and a certain clause as well. I hope that is clear. So I hope that is clear. So let's move on. So we also have the between operators, right? The between operators. So the between operators is just to give you a range, right? It's just to give you a range. So for example, now let's say that we have birth date, right? It's just to give you a range. So we can say select all from dev.customer where birth date where birth date um, where birth date between between what? So let's say between let's say between 1998 between 1998 and let's say 2000. Let's say whether we have any customer that fall between 1998 and 2000. Let's check. It doesn't return anything. He said date is incompatible with small ints. Okay. I understand what is happening there. So we have to put in the date. So let's say between 1998, let's just put 01. Let's close it. Then 2000, 01. Let's close it. So let's execute this. We don't have any customer that fall within that birth date. You can see we don't have any customer. But let's change this to like 19. I think most of the customers are very old people. So let's say 1965 and this. So you can see now we have record. So you can see now we have record. So this is a range. So if you are trying to run your query, you want to filter based on range. So that is when you are going to use between. And whenever you are using between, you are going to use the and with it because, SQL is just like English. Do you understand? It's like English. So whenever you are writing your between, you have to include the and statement as well in your query. I hope we are following. Let me be sure that we are following. Are we following? Let's type yes if you are following. Can you type yes if you are following? Let's type yes if you are following. Let me be sure that my audience are still here. Let's type yes. Let's type yes if you are following. For those on YouTube, let's type yes if you are following. Okay, thank you very much, Faith. Those on YouTube, let's type yes if you are following. Let's type yes if you are following. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, guys. So now let's quickly look at. I think we just have very few more to go. Okay, I think I've explained the in statement. The in operator also work similar to the not in. It works similar to that. So the in operator works similar to that. So let's say that you have customer city. So let's say you want to select all from dev.customer. So let's say where customer city in. If you want to select more than one city, you use the in. Where customer city in what? You can copy the name. Copy, comma. If you have more than one city you want to select, let's say Concord. Then you can close it. So if you have more than one city, so you can see, you only see for La Mesa and Concord. That's just the only. So if you have more city, can you see? So, but if it is just one city you want to select, if it's just one city, just say equals to, then remove this. If it's just one city, just do this. Then you execute. You can see La Mesa. That's the only city that is giving us. You can see. So that is how to make use of the in operator as well. So let's quickly look at the like operator. The like operator is very interesting actually. I think I like the like operator a lot. And when you want to look for something, let's say that, so the like operator, you use it with a wildcard. We use the like operator with what? With a wildcard. So the wildcard is what? So the wildcard that we use it with is what? Is sometimes people use it with the underscore. See this underscore? They use a like operator with underscore or what? Or the percentage sign. So either of the two. That's the two wildcard that people use with the like statement. The underscore or the percentage. That is the two wildcard we use with the like statement. So now let's see how to use the like statement. So for example, right? For example, let's say I'm looking for a customer. Kim Bonner. Let's say Kim. Now, I did not know. I'm looking for a customer that his name started with letter K. Right? I'm looking for a customer that his name started with letter K, but I don't know the exact name of that customer. Right? Maybe I cannot even remember the name. I just know that the name started with letter K. And I need to search looking for all customers that their name started with letter K, right? So I'm going to say select. I don't know the customer name, right? But I know that it started with letter K. And I want to look for all customers that their name started with letter K. So I'm going to say select all from, or let's just say select full name, comma, let's say gender, comma, let's say education. I just want to select some few information, right? Then I will say from dev.customer. Then I will say where what? So I will say where full name, like. So this time around, what I want to look for is customer that their name started with what? With letter K. I don't know the customer. Maybe I just forgot, but I just want a customer that their name started with letter K. I will say where name like, and I will use the wildcard. So I'm going to use the percentage. So I'm going to say K. Is it okay? K, yeah. Where name. So if you put the K in front of the percentage, it means that you are looking for the first letter word. What did I say? You're looking for what? The first letter word of the customer name, of the name, right? So let's execute it. Execute. Can you see all the customers that their names start with letter K? You can see Kim, Kelvin, Chrislyn, Key. You can see all the names that started with letter K. You can see it brought out their name. Maybe I'm looking for Kelvin Armstrong. Maybe that's the name I'm looking for. I can easily locate the customer. Now, let's say that the customer name ended with letter. You don't know the name, but maybe you just know that the name ended with letter S, right? If the name ended with letter S, just put your letter at the back of the white card. At the back of the white card. So let's execute. Now, can you see all the customer here now? Their name ended with what? With letter S. Can you see Collins? You can see Thomas. S. You can see all the customer name ended with what? With letter S. Can you see? Ended with letter S. What if maybe you don't know the name, but you just know that in between the name there's something, maybe you just remember something common, you did not really remember the name, but you know, oh, okay, maybe there is one in between the name. There is one in between the name. I don't know any of the customer name that has one in between, but let's see if you have. So in between, you are going to put the word card in front and at the back. You're going to put the word card in front and at the back. Let's say one. I don't know whether we have. Can you? Okay, we have. Can you see Jones one? You can see one. Jones here. I think here too we have one. Can you see one? One, one. You can see all the name here have one in between them. You can see one. Honey, one. You can see one. Every name here has one in between them. So that is how to search, how to look for. And if you go to banks, right? If you go to banks, or maybe you go to all these telecommunication companies and you want them to retrieve information of 20 years ago, or information of 10 years ago, or maybe you even want them to give you a customer name, you might think that they are trying to look for the entire database. No, there is a filter they are applying to give them the information that they want. They don't just execute the entire database. They filter it because they have a large number. So, you can use all these operators, wildcard, to ensure that, to reduce your data to whatever you want at that moment. So that is that about the like statement. So I told you that we have. So for those on YouTube, can you tell me the two word card? You can just type the two word card. The two word card that I mentioned that we use with the like statement. Just type the two word card. The two word card. Just type it. Let me see those that are following. Those on YouTube. Type the two word card that I mentioned, that you normally use. You can use with the like statement. So let's type it. The two word card. Those on YouTube, let's type the two word card that I mentioned with the like statement. Okay, let's type that. I will be checking. So the last one that we're going to be talking about is the case statement. So let's talk about the case statement. The case statement. So what is the case statement? So case statement is like if condition. It's like an if statement in Excel, right? The case statement is like if statement in Excel, right? It's like a case statement in Excel. So let's say that we have okay, let's try and run select all from dev.customer. So now we have customer that have children. Total children is 4, 1, and we have some customer that does not have children. And we want to easily identify them, that okay, this customer have children, this customer does not have children. We want to easily identify them. How can you easily identify them? Okay, I think we already have okay, I want to create a column. Okay, let me use the staging. Don't let me use this table. Let me use this table. So we don't have the columns here. We want to create a column called has children, whether the customer has a children or not. So if it has children, it's going to tell us yes. If it does not have children, it's going to tell us no, right? So now I want to say select full name, gender, education, total children. Then does he have children or not? If he has children, does he have children or not? So we want to check. We are going to say case when what? Total children. Case when total children greater than 0, then then what? Then it should be y. That means that it has children. If the total children is greater than 0, then y. Then we say what? Else hen. It doesn't have children. Then we say what? End has children from customer. So what we are saying here is that the case statement here is like an if statement. I hope you understand. It's like what? It's like an if statement. If statement is to give you a condition and return what? True or false. It's going to return what? True or false. So we are saying that case when total children is greater than 0, return what? Y. Yes. If it does not, if it is opposite, it should return what? No. Then end as what? As children. This should be the what? The name of the columns. That is what we are saying here. So that is what the case statement is doing. So let's execute it and see. Let's execute and see. Can you see? So you can say full name, gender, education as children, yes. So if you want to check whether we have, you can see no as well. So you can say order by. So let's say order by has children. Let's say order by has children. I think N starts comes before Y, right? So you can see no. You can see all this one does not have children. No, you can see. So you can see. So this is how to use the case statement. Yeah. So I think we have just 6 minutes left. So please, if you have any question, kindly ask. If you have any question, please drop your question. If you have any question, please drop your question so that we can use the remaining 5 minutes left to answer your question. If you have any question, observation, anything that is not clear, please let us ask question, please. Any question from our audience on YouTube? 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 If you have any question, please let's type our question. Yes, you guys are right. Underscore and percentage. Yes. I'm finding it difficult to download SQL Server. What's the challenge? Okay, so what I will do is that I'm going to send you a link to download it. So I will share. I don't know how. I don't know how you guys can. How maybe easy. Do you guys have a platform? Faith, just to confirm, is there a platform where the participants are maybe on WhatsApp or I don't know any channel so that I can I can I can forward the link to download SQL Server to you. Val, you can communicate with them. I don't know. Do you have any platform like that? Faith, if you have the answer, you can let me know. I will try and help you guys find the link to download it. So, any other question? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Any question? So let me get. If you have questions, we have just 3 minutes left. So let's answer question. Okay, Faith. What I'm saying is that is there a platform like maybe a WhatsApp platform the participants can get information from apart from the LMS system? I just want to know maybe like a WhatsApp platform or a Slack platform or Telegram. Just want to know if that platform so that maybe I can share the link to install SQL Server for those that are having issue. Okay, if you have any question, please let's drop our question. We have none yet. Okay. I don't know whether I have the link. So let me stop sharing my screen and let me try and get if I can get the link before we go. I can drop the link on YouTube here, then for people to pick it up. So let me stop sharing my screen. Let me stop sharing my screen. Faith, please, I just want to be sure. Am I still sharing my screen? Because I don't want to share some other stuff here. Okay, all right, thank you. So let me go into my, let me see if I can get that link. SQL Server. SQL Server. Let's see if I can get that link. Okay, I think I've gotten it. Okay. Okay, Faith, I'm going to send a link to you. If you can help me send it on the YouTube channel for them to pick up that link so they can watch how to install. They can watch how to install it. So I've sent the link. You can let me send the link on YouTube. Okay. All right. So if you copy the link, I believe they have access to the link. They can copy anything, or they can click. If they click on that link, it's going to take them to um, it's going to take them to a YouTube channel for them to be able to. All right, thank you. So I'm not going to play that video so that we don't violate YouTube rules and policy here. So I think there's no question. I think there's no question. Um, so there's no question from anyone. So I think we are good. I think we are good. So guys, thank you very much. So tomorrow, this is still the foundation. So tomorrow we are going to look at some other. Um, we're going to look at some other uh, concepts on SQL, right? So please let's make sure that we attend tomorrow's section, and let's make sure that we attend on time as well. So let's inform our friends that are supposed to be here. Um, so let's make sure that we remind our friends that are supposed to be here as well. Please don't forget the file used for the class. The file used for the class. I don't even know how. I don't know. Maybe Fit. I don't know. If you want to share the file with them, I think you can do that as well. So, um, yeah, okay. I think I'm done for my head. No question. The LMS. Okay, okay, it's fine. So I think you guys can access the files on the LMS. I believe. Yeah. So Faith, you can upload it there as well. So I will also check the LMS if I can. Anything I can upload there, I'll put it there as well. So you guys can check the LMS system. Yeah. So I believe there is no question. Um, so please, before we leave, right? I told you from the beginning of the class that anything that you learn today, even as little as ABC, let's take it to your social media, post it, tag Incubator Hub, for the amazing section that you guys are having. Let the world knows that you are learning something. It's better for you to to build in public, right? Because that is the only way you can be noticed, right? So you can start from here, and later on you can build on what you can build more on that. So let's just share our whatever we learn, the little things that you learn, the bulk insert, the operator sign, and put it on your social media page, tag Incubator Hub and Hub. So thank you very much, everyone. We'll meet again tomorrow. So Faith, I think over to you if you have anything else.